Hello, everyone. Welcome to Global Visa Japan. If you are thinking about working in Japan, you may have heard of the Gijinkoku visa. Its official name is the Engineer Specialist in Humanities International Services Visa. Now, here is something many people misunderstand. You might think that once you have a job offer from a Japanese company, you are all set. But actually, a job offer alone is not enough. There are several factors an immigration officer will look at before deciding whether you qualify. So today, I'm going to walk you through the main requirements for this visa and explain what can make an application stronger. So let's start with a job offer. A job offer is only the starting point. An immigration officer looks at the whole application. They will look at your educational background or professional experience, the duties you actually perform, your employer's profile, and your salary. And all of these pieces need to make sense together. So how can you qualify? Basically, there are two main routes. The first one is through your education. If you have a bachelor degree in the field related to the job, you may qualify. And the good news is immigration usually applies this requirement with some flexibility. The second route is through professional experience. In most cases, you will need at least 10 years of relevant work experience if you don't have a university degree. But there is an exception. For some international services jobs, such as translation, interpretation, language instruction, or overseas marketing, in those cases, 3 years of relevant work experience may be sufficient. There is also an important point for graduates of Japanese vocational schools. In those cases, immigration usually expects a much closer connection between what you studied and the job duties. This relationship between your background and the actual job duties is very important. Let me give you a few examples. If you studied computer science and you are going to work as a software engineer, that's a strong match. Or if you studied business administration and you are going to work in marketing, there's a clear connection there as well. But let's take a different example. Suppose you studied mechanical engineering, but the job offer is mainly factory work. That would be difficult to qualify under this visa category. The same problem could arise if someone with an accounting degree were hired to work as a restaurant server. So, in general, there should be a clear connection between your background and the work you will actually be doing. There are a couple of other things you should know. First, salary. Foreign employees should generally receive compensation comparable to Japanese employees doing similar work. So if your salary is unusually low for the position, that could raise questions. Next, let's talk about Japanese language ability. This is sometimes misunderstood. There's no general rule saying that everyone applying for this visa must speak fluent Japanese. However, Japanese ability can become important depending on the job. Recent immigration guidelines indicate that applicants whose main duties involve communication are generally expected to have language proficiency equivalent to CEFR B2. This may apply, for example, to jobs in sales, marketing, customer support, or client relations. So the key point is Japanese isn't always required, but for some jobs, your ability to communicate can be an important part of the assessment. Before we finish, let's review today's key takeaways. Getting a job offer is only the first step. Immigration looks at the whole picture, your education or experience, the work you will actually be doing, your salary, and the employer. When all of these pieces fit together well, you generally have a much stronger application. I hope this gives you a clear idea of how the Gijinkoku visa actually works. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.